The Nazis entered this war
Would you look at that?
under the rather childish delusion that they were
It's this
going to
guy.
bomb everybody else, and nobody was going to bomb them.
Yeah, right outside my window.
At
That's awesome.
London, Warsaw, and half a hundred other places.
Why is he here?
They put that rather
I don't know.
theory
Let's see if he'll go away.
the world.
This is normally how the story on Dresden goes. At the end of World War II, after years of strategic bombing by the Allies, the previously untouched city of Dresden was firebombed between February 13th and 15th, 1945 by the Royal Air Force. Being neither a military or industrial city, Dresden was destroyed, taking with it upwards of 100,000 German civilians in an attempt to teach them a lesson. And this is somewhat true. Yes, Dresden was utterly destroyed. This was achieved by bombers dropping first high-explosive bombs from leading planes to blow holes in buildings to create debris, and then smaller firebombs, containing an early version of napalm that would be dropped to create a large firestorm. And by firestorm, I really mean firestorm. Reports from the bombings in World War II describe hurricane-force winds due to air rising as a result of the intense heat, creating a large air tunnel into the sky. And this would have two effects. One, literally sucking people down the street and into the inferno at times, and two, the fires consuming all the oxygen in the area, causing people to suffocate. Then in 1945, Dresden was definitely a military target. Dresden was a key junction in Germany's railway system, with rail lines extending from the city in multiple directions. By the time it was bombed, Dresden was one of the final lines of supply for the Germans on the Eastern Front, namely what was left of Army Groups Center and South, with thousands of soldiers passing through on rail lines every day. So this bombing was definitely strategic and was a great help to the Soviets in the East. But lastly, we get to the death toll. The numbers from the death toll in Dresden have been inflated since the immediate days after the bombing happened. First, it was done by Reich Minister of Propaganda Joseph Goebbels, who invented many of the myths we already covered, of Dresden being a cultural city, not a military target. And he inflated the numbers to push the point that Germany had to fight to the end because the Allies were just going to kill everybody anyways, and to provoke outrage amongst German citizens. After this, the number is skewed again in Kurt Vonnegut's book Slaughterhouse-Five, and interestingly enough, Vonnegut was present in Dresden as a POW and did see the destruction firsthand. But regardless, he draws wild conclusions about the total number of deaths that are not based in fact. And also, interestingly enough, he did apologize for Slaughterhouse-Five later, saying something along the lines of, "I'm the only person to have profited from the Dresden bombing." And he felt really bad about it. Was Allied strategic bombing criminal? Was it a step too far, regardless of what the Germans were doing? Is Bomber Harris a bad guy, or is he just someone who was being practical and knew the war he was fighting? Thank you for watching.
They sowed the wind, and now they are going to reap the whirlwind.